Coming up next.
I try and fit into this bubble of perfectness.
How young were you, Addie, when you first started taking Ozempic?
14.
The results are incredible.
I was not a happy girl before.
But should teenagers be allowed
We don't have decades worth of data.
to take weight loss drugs like Ozempic?
This is a game changer.
That's next on 60 Minutes.
The wonder of the new group of weight loss drugs like Ozempic is well known. Excess kilos vanish almost overnight. It's no surprise then that more and more people swear by them, including an increasing number of teenagers. In fact, in Australia, these drugs have just become available via prescription for children as young as 12. But while the immediate benefits seem extraordinary, what's not known are the long-term effects of these substances on young bodies. So here's the question. Is wait and see an appropriate course of action if it ends up delivering bad news? Forget 1,000 words. These pictures tell so many more than that about the marvel of Ozempic. Before is Sophie at 16. After is her today, 2 years later, and, as you might guess, there's no way to wipe the smile off her face. Are you proud of how far you've come?
I'm really proud of myself. It was a long process, and it's still, everything's always changing, but I'm just really proud of myself for how far I've grown and the confidence I've gained and all the work that I have put in.
Like Sophie, Sydney teenager Addie Moffat is proof of the benefits of Ozempic. When she was taking the drug, she loved showing off on TikTok how it was changing her life.
I went from 74 kilos to 65. I could go to the beach and not feel judged. I was happy. And I did really good at school.
For Addie and Sophie, there's no doubt semaglutide, sold under brand names Ozempic and Wegovy, works. It was originally created to help control type 2 diabetes, but its popularity exploded when its effect on weight became known. Now, it's increasingly being used around the world to treat teenagers who've struggled with the often unfair curse of obesity. Does any part of you sit here and think, my confidence, my self-esteem shouldn't be linked at all to how thin I am?
Oh, absolutely. It's crazy how much social media has such an impact on those things.
It's seen in the media that if you're not skinny or if you're not losing weight, then you're just not worth it.
Weight is just something that is really hard when you look at yourself in the mirror and that it can be different.
What sets Ozempic apart, in your opinion?
The degree of weight loss and the amount of patients that respond to it. So more respond and lose weight. And the average weight loss in kids is 15 kilos.
Dr. Melanie Cree, a paediatric endocrinologist at the Children's Hospital in Aurora, Colorado, first prescribed Ozempic for Sophie after she was diagnosed with a condition called polycystic ovarian syndrome. At the time, the then 16-year-old was also overweight. It turned out taking the drug was a win-win.
And so Sophie lost 96 pounds. What is that, about 38 kilos? Absolutely transformational. It absolutely transformed the end of her school years.
My aunt got them for me. Aren't they pretty?
It was as if the Ozempic had reset Sophie's whole body. Where nothing else had had any impact on her obesity, this suddenly did.
I tried everything. I tried every diet. I was working out. I was on a competitive swim team for all of my youth and through the beginning of high school. I was with my friends. I was eating the same things they were eating. Even I was eating less. I was trying to be mindful of what I was doing, and just nothing worked. And this was the thing that worked.
So how is the girl in those photographs different to the one you see in the mirror now?
I'm just happy. I think that's the number one thing. I'm happy and I'm confident.
It's been a similar story for Addie Moffat. She too was originally prescribed Ozempic not for obesity, but for another medical condition. It's the effect the drug has had on her weight though, which she, and her mum Beck, say has been truly significant. How young were you, Addie, when you first started taking Ozempic?
14.
14. People will hear those two words together, Ozempic and 14, and genuinely be shocked.
We hear a lot of the time it's the easy way out.
Yeah.
And it's really not, because everything else we've done hasn't worked. And it's not a decision we made lightly.
Growing up, Addie had always been active, but no matter what she did, she couldn't control the kilos.
First, we started seeing nutritionists and a dietitian, and she stuck to a very strict diet of food. That didn't work. We tried the pill. That didn't work. She had all these different changes and nothing was happening. Like, she would run for an hour an afternoon. She'd put her headphones on, take the dogs and go. And our endocrinologist came to us and said, we've got this new drug on the market.
Ozempic.
Yeah.
This is a game changer. This is the first time we've had real improvements in weight status in young people.
There are going to be people at home watching saying, hang on, adolescents, teenagers or kids on drugs for their weight loss, that just is not right.
Well, I think it's not right for young people to already be living with obesity and suffering from the complications of obesity.
Professor Louise Bauer from the University of Sydney is a world-leading authority on childhood obesity. And with 1 in 4 Australian children now considered overweight, she believes this new range of semaglutide drugs is the answer.
Many of the people who say just eat less and exercise more don't live with the issue of obesity, haven't experienced that. It's very different. They don't have the disease.
What does it do that's so different to any other treatment in the past?
Drugs like semaglutide work on the brain to turn off the food noise, to make your appetite decrease. And they also work on parts of the gut to essentially slow down some of the processes in the gut.
But they're not without known side effects. Losing the kilograms pleased Addie, but the frequent nausea she suffered didn't. How debilitating was it?
I'd have to take days off school.
Wow.
She couldn't eat.
Yeah.
And it would only last a day. I know that there are people out there that have had far more worse side effects.
Why does weight and weight changes have such an impact on you, do you think?
I'm gonna cry.
It's okay. You're allowed to cry.
I try and fit into this bubble of like perfectness, but I can just never, because I don't know, because like nothing works. Like I've tried everything and it doesn't. Like, and I just feel like I need to be perfect and this weight, and I never can. So it just makes me feel like, I don't know the word.
That you're not good enough?
Yeah.
For 2 years, from 14 to 16, Addie was thin and happy. But then came the blow. Addie's doctors thought it might be time to come off the Ozempic.
Well, the weight came back on. It felt like a failure.
Seeing a young woman experience a new life, only to have it snatched away, is cruel. Addie Moffat desperately wants what she had back again.
I loved it. I loved it. Knowing that I was there and I was good. Now I'm here again. It's just like you can see in my face that I was happy and that I was confident, and I want to be back there.
Are you prepared and expecting that this is something you're going to be taking for a really, really long time?
If I want to feel happy and healthy and feel confidence, that's what I got to do.
But here's the risk. The short-term results might be remarkable, but the long-term effects of children and teenagers taking drugs like Ozempic are simply not known. So, can anyone really be sure they're safe?
Should we be giving it to 12-year-olds?
I just don't know long term.
Coming up, would you give Ozempic to your children?
We don't have decades worth of data on these medications. We just don't in humans.
On Ozempic and on TikTok, Addie Moffat was lively and outgoing. But sadly, that joy she felt shedding the kilos has been replaced with the disappointment that comes when you go off it. The weight came back and Addie's self-worth vanished.
And everyone says that this is the most important years of your life and you're meant to be living it. But
You're not living. You're existing.
yeah.
Is that really how you feel, that you're not living your life?
Yeah.
So this is the wonder drug?
It's no wonder that now the 18-year-old, with some trepidation, has decided to go back on the weight loss injections. This time, it's not Ozempic, but Wegovy.
How simple is it?
It's pretty simple. Then you just take it out. When you open the lid, you put the needle on here, and then you put it to your skin and press. We count to 10 just to make sure that it's all in there, and then recap and just put it back away for the week.
Addie and Mum Beck don't know how long she'll take the drug this time around. They also don't know what the effects of long-term use could be, but they don't really mind.
I think what's more important to me is her happiness and her health in other respects.
Are you comfortable not really knowing the effect it's having on your body other than the obvious positive?
Well, from being on it, I feel like the only change it's giving me is a positive side. Like, I know when I was on it, I was happy and I was motivated, and really there was no negative side about it.
It's just something that becomes part of your life. There's so many medications for so many things.
Like Addie, Colorado teen Sophie is prepared to take Ozempic or similar medications for as long as she feels she needs it to be happily thin. Does any part of that worry you, that you don't know fully what it's doing to your body?
Truthfully, I don't. I have so much trust in medicine and my doctors around me, and I do believe that there's so much power in the research that they have done and the research that they still are doing.
We don't have decades worth of data on these medications. We just don't in humans. How do you think that you need help?
Dr. Melanie Cree recruited Sophie into a trial she was conducting about the use of the semaglutide range of drugs on teens. She's all for them, considering the transformations she's witnessed. But she's surprisingly candid about how much still needs to be learned.
Insulin makes us hungry. We have to treat each patient as an individual. And so each patient has their own risk-benefit ratio. Do we put them on it until they're 20, 21? They're now older, more confident in themselves. Do we look at weaning them off because we don't know the long-term effects? These are the answers that we need.
So Donna, what am I watching here?
So this is the basic DEXA scan that we use to measure muscle and bone density.
One concern for people using the drugs is muscle loss. It's something University of Queensland exercise physiologist Donna McCook has already seen frequently in long-term use in adults, especially when they neglect diet and exercise.
Well, Donna, I think when people hear that kids and teenagers are being prescribed drugs like Ozempic, there's going to be some pretty strong reactions. What was yours?
There's a lot of questions that are right to be asked for teenagers that are going to be put on any medications, and making sure it's done as right as you possibly can is going to be important. So here we've got the colour graphic, which is giving us an indication of fatty tissue.
Donna's planning her own trial on the effects of semaglutide using x-rays to spot muscle changes. If they go off the drug, what could happen?
And that's the challenge where likely if they regain body weight, it's more likely to be fatty tissue than it will be replacing any muscle or bone, any of the lean mass that they've lost. If someone loses 20 kilos overall of body fat or body weight, probably about 5 kilos of that may well be muscle. So where does that leave people down the track?
It may seem minor, but it's one of the few possible long-term impacts currently being researched. The uncertainty that brings isn't lost on young Addie, even though she knows the drugs are her best shot at happiness.
I'm 37. I wouldn't love the idea of being on a drug for life from this point. Addie, you're 18 and effectively going back on it, you're probably looking at staying on it for life or a really long time.
Yeah.
Are you comfortable with that?
No, because when I got off it the first time, I believed that was that, and I'm gonna be fixed. And then it just all started up again.
Are we creating a generation of guinea pigs?
I don't know. I mean, you think about it, all medications are like this, right? Is it okay for a couple years, especially when we're younger, and especially if we're having mental health difficulties? I would say yes.
It's a brain disease and it's a body disease. It's not a willpower disease.
There's not an expert in the world who knows what, if at all, the long-term consequences might be. Not even Dr. Aaron Kelly. He's conducted the largest study to date on the use of weight loss drugs in teens. He's tracked 200 of them, but so far only for just over a year.
Well, when we talk about pediatric obesity, we have to be thinking, obviously, about treatment. We have many kids that are already struggling with their weight, and we need to come up with treatments that are safe and effective. All medicines have side effects and uncertainties. We just know that.
Dr. Kelly says the proven side effects, like nausea and vomiting, are mostly tolerable. And for the 3 in 4 people the drug works for, the health improvements, he believes, outweigh the unknown.
So is that what families and doctors are going to have to decide? Effectively, what's riskier, going on it or not going on these drugs?
Exactly. But one thing that we are certain about, and the evidence is clear about, untreated obesity, unchecked obesity, does not portend well for later lifelong outcomes of other health problems.
Absolutely beautiful. They are pretty.
Not that Ozempic kids, like Addie and Sophie, needed to hear that. They're adamant their happiness, not just their weight, is compelling enough, and they reckon any argument otherwise is pretty thin.
Do you still feel like it's worth the risk?
Yeah. I want to be able to go out and not feel embarrassed to wear things and to be myself without feeling like a fool.
You want them to be happy and healthy and happy to go out with their friends. It breaks your heart. It really, truly does.
Truthfully, the best thing I can say is being able to identify who I was as a person is something that I wouldn't have been able to do as easily without this medication and transformation in my life.
Hello, I'm Adam Hegarty. Thanks for watching 60 Minutes Australia. Subscribe to our channel now for brand new stories and exclusive clips every week. And don't miss out on our extra minute segments and full episodes of 60 Minutes on 9now.com.au and the 9Now app.